Ladies and gentlemen, who's ready for some pro fights? These next three bouts are sanctioned by the DPOR. Your commissioner is Jermaine Gray. Your ringside physician is Eric Backrack. The judges for this evening are Brian Costello, Lisa Cuellar, and Evan Holber. Timekeeper is Mark Diatello, and your referee in charge of the action tonight is Angel Ortiz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring and fighting out of the red corner, it's Dale Reed Jr.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to CageZilla 82 as we're moving into our professional fights on the night, starting with Dale the Dynamite Reed Jr. making his way to the ring, representing the pro lightweight class. He currently is 0-1 in his professional career, fighting out of SBY MMA and Fitness, standing at 6'2" and aging 33 years old. This is someone with a lot of experience under his belt, taking a very patient pathway towards the pros, and hopefully that will pay off for him tonight. To start things off here, of course, this is a fighter that has a lot of time playing towards his strengths with a vicious ground and pound game plan. You can see from his physique, from his build here in the heavyweight division, while he isn't necessarily one of the tallest of the fighters, he certainly has a long reach and the ability to knock people out in an instant. And so that explosiveness is something that has brought him victory time and time again, but now he definitely has a very tough matchup ahead of him and a very tough challenge on the cards. Coming in at 256, he is a little bit light actually for the heavyweight division, about 10 pounds under where you could possibly be here, and therefore he will have to use maybe a little bit of a smaller size and maybe a little bit more endurance to his advantage in order to stabilize versus what is going to be a very, very difficult matchup. But as he makes his way to the ring, I think it's probably best we throw it back over to our wonderful ring announcer, Chris Fuller, to get this started very soon. And as we get ready for our next fighter, really quick, I want to give thanks to everybody on the stage.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Matthew Crawford.
And that's that opponent we were talking about, Matthew Big Smile Crawford, fighting out of Kaizen MMA as one of two of the professional fighters on the docket tonight, representing a team that so far is undefeated on the night. Matthew Big Smile Crawford is 30 years old, so another person with that long climb to the pros, comes in with an 0-1 record, standing at 6'2", matching the Dynamite, but at 260 pounds.
The Big Smile, Matthew Crawford, one of my favorite guys on the card, man. What a big, jolly giant. I mean, this guy is a guy that is ferocious in the cage, but outside of the cage, he's one of the nicest guys you can meet, man. And, you know, he does a lot of great things in the community as well. He's got Smiley Martial Arts, where he works with youth and preschool kids. I mean, what a great individual. You know, you could feel his energy. Look at him. You just feel his energy when you talk to him. I was speaking to him a little before the show, and he was just such a pleasure to talk to and such a nice guy. But he says that, you know, all smiles until he gets into the cage, and then he's pulling teeth. So that's his thing, man. Once he gets in the cage, it's serious business. And here in his pro bout here in CageZilla, he's turning the switch on right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the CageZilla Pro Heavyweight Division. It is brought to you by our friends at Ace Party Rental. They've got you covered. Check them out at acepartycentral.com. And Freedom Bail Bonds of Fairfax, Virginia. Everybody loves freedom. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 6'2" and weighing in at 256 pounds, fighting out of SBY MMA and Fitness, it's Dale the Dynamite Reed Jr. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 6'2" and weighing in at 260 pounds, fighting out of Kaizen MMA, it's Matthew Big Smile Crawford. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is our first pro bout of the evening. It is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the CageZilla Pro Heavyweight Division. It is brought to you by Ace Party Rental and Freedom Bail Bonds, and your referee is Angel Ortiz.
And things are ready to get started here. Loving the fact that we are getting a heavyweight bout right off the bat here. A lot of lighter fighters so far on the card tonight means that we are going to get a very sharp contrast in style. A lot of big, heavy hits to start things off, and I think some vicious ground and pound has also come through on it as well. But don't let these builds fool you. These guys move fast. These guys are ready for takedowns at a moment's notice.
Yeah, but I mean, anytime you get a heavyweight bout, you get heavyweights in 4-ounce gloves, you better not move from your seat. You better not blink, because these guys are, anything can happen at any time. It's heavyweight MMA. You know what they say about heavyweight MMA? It can be over quick. We got Dale Dynamite Reed here versus Matthew Big Smile Crawford in the blue corner, and this is a good match, because I think this is a good even match, because I think both these guys are matched up pretty well. They have similar records in the amateurs and identical records in the pros, 1 fight apiece. So. Really looking, somebody's got to come out and make their stamp, and we'll see who's coming in more prepared today. They're feeling each other out here now, but again, I think they're going to clash here pretty soon.
Yeah, Big Smile going to be pushed back here, looking for a takedown. Can't quite get it. In fact, is going to have to break back towards neutral here. I think that this open stance is something he's struggling with just a little bit. The distance that we are seeing Dynamite Reed Jr. try to bring out up against Big Smile means that oftentimes he's able to play hit and run. And in fact, look at this. When he is, in fact, walking backwards, he's batting away, making sure that Big Smile cannot find a good approach angle.
Well, Chris, I had to come out and put the old headset on for this one. I've been watching Matthew Crawford fight for a long time. He got to start with us and worked his way up through the ranks. I'm so proud to see him in there in a pro fight right now.
Oh, absolutely the case here, Chris. Of course, this is someone who came off of a devastating shoulder dislocation and therefore hasn't been able to get back into the ring for quite a while now, but now returning. He is fighting, in fact, for his baby daughter, Marley.
Yeah, and watch the heavy hands. Oh, and just as I say that, he eats one. But Matthew Crawford has heavy, heavy hands. One-shot knockout power.
Yeah, I think that goes for both sides here.
Absolutely.
So far, Dale Reed Jr. isn't showing to be afraid at all of Crawford, and in fact, I think is kind of getting the better on the strategic, grounded level right now. He's just finding angles that I think right now the blue corner cannot answer back against.
Yeah, Crawford's got to find his range and start delivering some strikes, just as Reed has been doing, and really starting to find the strategy. Nice high knee from Crawford off the cage. Circling, but he can't really get. I mean, you can tell Dynamite Reed has some serious power going forward. He also loves throws, so watch for Reed to hit a nice lat drop if he feels the time to do it.
Yeah, I would really love to see a throw come through here for this corner in order to really make a mark. But right now, Dale Reed Jr. finds himself forcing Crawford back, but not necessarily finding the leverage to land that killing blow. So far, things remain in this state where constantly Crawford is having to get up against the wall to find defense, but find defense he does. And in fact, now he has those hands wrapped around the back of the neck of Reed Jr. Was looking for a takedown. No, unfortunately, he's just going to get chased across the cage.
Jeez. Reed is, yeah, I mean, these big boys are really testing the integrity of this cage. And, man, he's got some serious force coming forward. I know Crawford's trying to circle off and use a little clinch work to get out there, but it seems like he's just pinned to that cage. So good work from Reed for control. He's been landing some nice punches. He's got some good cage control. And Crawford just hasn't found an answer quite yet for Reed.
And this is one of the things that I think we've seen a lot in our heavyweight matches here across CageZilla, both amateur and pro bouts. It is incredibly hard, even if you're matching weight at these higher ranks, in order to actually get someone off of you. Angel Ortiz going to call the timeout here. That was going to allow for a split up. I believe it was a low blow that snuck through here.
A little cut over the eye there. Didn't see where that one came from, guys.
Yeah, I didn't see that either. Maybe a headbutt? I don't know.
Yeah, Dale Reed got a little blood trickling from the right eyebrow.
This could open things up. Back to neutral we go. And Crawford, I think, is ready for it immediately. A series of blows is actually going to be able to reverse position, driving right on top of you, Chris. What do you see?
A lot of beef. These dudes are huge, man. Like, I'm a big boy, and these guys are making me look small out here. I tell you what, that inadvertent shot to the groin helped Matthew Crawford a lot, because he was backed up against the cage and didn't really have an answer for it, and now you see him reversing the position.
Right. Yeah. That little just brief moment of space let him kind of get off the cage, like you say, and realize, hey, I don't want to be there. And
so
he came out a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you that when they were over on the other side of the cage, Brent. Is it more tiring to try to hold somebody against the cage, or to try to fight your way off of the cage?
In my opinion, it's more tiring to hold somebody against the cage. Because when somebody's holding you against the cage, essentially, if you just stop and don't do anything, you're still pinned against the cage. But if you're the guy pinning the guy against the cage, you're really driving with some serious force.
Yeah.
And, you got to manage lateral movement from the guy as well if you don't want him to circle out. So, if you're the guy on the cage and you're just going to hang there, you're not really wasting any energy. The energy is expended a lot of times when the guy pinning you against the cage lowers his level and starts attacking your legs. That's when you really are in trouble. That's when you have to start fighting for underhooks and pulling them up off your legs, or ultimately going down to the ground. So, I would say the guy pushing against the cage. But Dale did a great job there. He was a train.
And, what you're saying makes a lot of sense right now, because if you look, Dale seems the more tired of the two, and he did a lot of pushing Matt up against the cage in that first round.
Exactly. Yep. Let's see what happens here in the second round. That first one was a hard one to judge. I think Dale's got wearing the most damage. But,
certainly the case, but I will say the damage that we do see, the most visible one that cut on the eyebrow, came when he was on the offense side of things. And I do wonder how that is going to count on the judge's side. But as we start the second round, notably, it's also Crawford who is showing to, I think, have it a little bit more together on the endurance side. And I'm a bit worried that as this dynamic comes to play, where it's Reed Jr. trying to hold people, he's burning a lot. That being said, there's enough left in the tank for one more vicious volley to come the way of Crawford. And now Big Smile is back up against the cage.
Yeah, Reed is such a powerhouse, man. I mean, just look at the muscle on that guy's back. Like, he's not one of those heavyweights that's all jiggled, man. This guy's got some serious muscle behind his strikes if he can land them. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe he goes for this lat drop right here with the wraparound. I've seen him in quite a few of his fights hit a nice throw. So I know he's got it in the arsenal.
Yeah, he's turning those hips right now like he's gonna go for one, Brent.
We'll see if he's gonna. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, good knee. Oh, but he pays for it.
Nice punches.
Yeah, we'll be able to return fire. Crawford here trying to gain his countenance back. Does a good job of getting that hook as the fadeaway, but right now he's thrown right back into the same kind of grappling scenario where he's just kind of been walled out for much of that first round. Now, 3:30 on the clock. He wants to try to reverse it here and get back to the striking game plan that was paying dividends near the end of round number one.
Yeah, I'd like to see him or Big Smile start attacking the legs. Start grabbing a leg, picking up a leg.
Right.
Oh, good break from the ref. I think he had seen enough of that from the first round.
Really need to see some action out of Matt right now.
Ooh, that being said, big head movement coming from Dale Reed Jr., getting a shot upside the jaw of Crawford, and now immediately diving back in. We do see a desperation knee come on out of the representative of the blue corner, trying to buy space for himself, but yet again, he is up against the cage. And I think that with the amount of control we're seeing being exerted by the Dynamite right now, Kaizen MMA have got to be worried.
There he goes, attacking the legs. Now let's see what he does with it. got his leg back to the floor. That was nice off Big Smile.
It's just so difficult for either of these fighters with the amount of strength that they are showing to do anything to one another here. That strength proportionally gets more and more important as you move up the weight classes. And here in heavyweight, we are seeing that come to bear. Dale, the Dynamite Reed Jr., could throw anybody else like a sack of potatoes, but right here, right now, Crawford is able to just continue to retreat to the wall and prevent a lat drop. Now, the problem is he's not showing control in return, because once we're in this situation, Dale, the Dynamite Reed Jr., is able to act like a blanket of stakes up against them, making sure there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, he's keeping that good forward pressure, but I think the ref is going to have enough. Yeah, there we go. He's going to break him up and get this fight going.
And there we see a bit more offense by Crawford, trying to be the one to go for a takedown before we hit the sidewall. But unfortunately, once again, it is going to be Crawford bogarted by Reed Jr. That being said, the Dynamite really is looking winded at this point, Brandon. I think, if anything, he's more just leaning on his opponent to try to keep advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Crawford's got to show some offense as well, though. He's got to circle. He's got that overhook. He should circle him towards the cage, towards that right side, and really try to make something work for himself here. Because hanging out on the fence here, it's not really scoring a lot for him.
Yeah, Crawford is basically just trying to wait for Reed to tire himself out, but I don't know if that's actually going to come to pass. For as tired as Dale is looking, time and time again, he's the one winning these exchanges in neutral ground.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard one to judge. Like, who you giving this fight to? Who do you give the guy to fight to? The guy pressing against the cage, or the guy that's on the fence? In my opinion, we're giving it probably to the guy giving the forward pressure. Expert referee keeping a close eye on this, and looking to see if he's it's time to step in and let him get back to the center again. Here we go.
I'm loving the fact that Angel Ortiz is being so proactive on these breakouts, because I think that's where all the trades are coming through, right? Immediately right back to it. Dale, the Dynamite Reed Jr. on the forward press. Crawford, though, is just going to stop him like a brick wall, and in fact is trying to get the underhooks going now. Big knee, straight to the jaw. Unfortunately, he is going to give up space to do so, and we're right back where we started.
Yeah, I thought Crawford was going to hold his ground there for a second, but, ultimately, I think the pressure of Reed is a force to reckon with to get him back against the cage there.
Isolating the left arm here, Crawford is trying to find a new angle, just doesn't have the leverage anymore. Look at how narrow his stance is time and time again, Brenton. So as the clappers sound, I don't think we're getting much more of offense coming out of the Kaizen MMA representative. We do see some elbows, but they come out too little too late. There's the horn. We're moving to a third round.
Oh, Dale putting those hands on the head, and looking a little fatigued. Putting that pressure on really has taken a toll on Dale. I hope he can come out in the third round. And, I think either guy gets a takedown and gets on top of one another. It's going to be, the other guy's not, he's going to finish the round on top and might steal this fight. So I think still anybody's fight here in the third round. But if I had to edge it out to someone, I might say Dale with the pressure has been getting it done.
But the question is, can he keep it up? Brent, I was really doubting his ability to continue to keep control throughout the second round, because he already looked like after that first one he had run a marathon in lead shoes. But apparently this may just be his typical look and typical stature moving on into a final round. If he could just repeat the same style over and over again and stop Big Smile from basically doing anything, I think we may have a clear winner be defined. Now, that being said, Crawford definitely looks a little bit better coming on into this third round, and I think notably from that, he has the chance to use that knockout power that Chris Fuller talked about earlier.
Yeah, and I really think that Dale's strategy is going to, and he's going to have to try the same thing again, because he is absolutely gassed. And if they stay in the middle of the ring like Matt's trying to get him to do, Matt might close this fight out in the third and final round here.
All right, well, this time Crawford is going to be able to dig his heels in, tries to stop the push towards the center, will actually be able to now pivot around the Dynamite, and now because of that, it's Dale Reed Jr. who might be in trouble. That being said, good slipping of the guard means that Crawford is going to be on the back foot, now trying to turn things around. Nice. He has that lower center of gravity and pressure that he might try to use for a takedown, but immediately up against the wall now, the Dynamite is going to blade his hips and look for a way to reverse things, and will find a spin.
Yeah, and that but that kind of turn is what we were looking for in the first 2 rounds. Of course, now he's got his back up against the cage again, but I wonder where that spin was the first 2 rounds, Brent.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and exactly, like you're talking about Crawford, right? Like how he's been, you know, avoiding the cage here. It seemed like in this round. But, you know, Dale, you saw that turn from Dale. That's what I want to see Big Smile doing.
Yep,
you know,
exactly.
turning him to the wall. And you know, that's a thing, right? That's a thing. When somebody puts your back to the wall, you turn them to the wall. You're not the guy with your back to the wall. You turn them to the wall. And that's what I want to see Big Smile doing. I hope he's not getting content on the wall, because I feel like Dynamite Reed doesn't mind putting that forward pressure and holding you up against the wall.
Yeah, and I'm sure that people watching at home right now, people sitting here in the audience here at the Salisbury Center are thinking that this is a boring fight. But what you have to realize is the amount of athleticism and strength that it takes to hold a 250-pound professional athlete up against a cage for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Exactly.
And we're seeing and hearing the calls for knees from both sides here. I think that's the main way that we're going to see any more notable offense be made. But I think when you look at that, in terms of the stances we're seeing out of the two of these guys, it feels like once again Dale Reed Jr. is dipping into his immense well of strength and endurance and somehow still coming out on top, Brent. I mean, look at how narrow the stance is from Big Smile. Once again, he's just all the way up against the wall with, I think, no leverage to find a way out of this.
Yeah, I mean, and Big Smile standing up real tall with his legs together. I don't know why Dale doesn't drop his level and grab those legs.
I was going to say just the opposite with Dale sticking that lead leg out. Why isn't Crawford and Dale's underhooks are not very strong right now. Just drop down for that single.
Yeah. Well, either one. I'd like to see either guy start attacking the legs, because I think, like you say, you pick up that leg, you do a little dump, you get the guy on his back. I don't know if he's getting back up this round if you're getting on top.
Yeah, I think that both of these fighters are just exhausted at this point. Open mouths either way. Finally, we got the slugfest we were promised, though. And once again, Crawford gets a big trade right before we get back into a clinch. And Angel Ortiz will split this up. I think that was a low blow now. Traded back. Big smile on the ground.
Perfectly timed groin shot to get him a little breather here.
And I think that both of these fighters need it, frankly.
Exactly.
Not a bad strategy when you're gassed, I guess, huh?
You're allowed one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Angel Ortiz, though, starts talking to. I don't want to be on the other end of Angel Ortiz's wrath, regardless. Perhaps we'll see if it's worth it one way or the other. But yes, this is giving time for Crawford to take that knee and hopefully take a breather off of it. Let's see what happens here on replay. Yeah, right now Crawford definitely just trying to find the time to recover. We saw our fighters take quite a bit of time.
I don't think he's taking a point here, is he?
We're going to see Angel Ortiz conferring right now with the judges about it.
I think he's been doing a great job separating the guys, in my opinion, and getting them back to action.
He got a warning. No point taken.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense here. Hopefully, Big Smile will be able to right the course. 2 minutes left on this one. But notably, Chris, we've been talking not only about how this is good for a breather, but this gets a reset back to neutral. Angel Ortiz has done it a few times, and I got to tell you, every single time it's happened, Crawford gets about 2 to 3 seconds of good offense before once again the dynamite crashes the guard.
Well, he's got 2 minutes to let it all hang out right here, Chris. It's do or die time right now. Anything that he's got left in the tank after this break, he's got to let it all hang out.
Yeah, I'd like to see him exchange in the center of the octagon or the cage here, and really start to solidify some strikes, because I think both of them have been going 1-2 strike and then push, 1-2 push. You know, trying to get the other guy to the cage, and you know, I think Crawford too has a little bit of the edge if he would keep it in the middle of the cage and really start to get those strikes off. Dale, you know, I think we know his objective by now. It's
yeah, we've seen the game plan, Dale.
Yeah.
Timer lifted. There we go. We are right back into it. High guard from the side of Reed Jr. And now we are seeing an attempt at a leg hit from Crawford. This is the longest we've seen between either of these guys before they clinch it out here. Let's see if Big Smile can use that to his advantage.
Here we go, right in the middle. Let's go, guys. Let's give us something good.
Can't fight off his back foot, though. He's got to press the action right now.
Yeah, I agree, Chris.
Minute and a half left on the clock here. For a statement to be made by the representative of Kaizen MMA. Once again, though, it's Dale the Dynamite Reed Jr. turning the gas on. In fact, buying space to get open shots across the face of Crawford. Crawford trying to answer back. Going to have to go into the roll in order to try to get out of this situation.
Wow.
Now, Tyson for a clinch. Trying to buy a little bit of space, but he is exhausted.
What a chin. How is he still standing after that?
What was that, like a 13-punch combo?
Yeah.
I mean, that was nice. That was what we needed from either guy, and just happened to be Dale.
Yeah,
so.
Dale coming out. You know, we talk about three-piece combos up here, but that was a whole family bucket.
Yeah, that was nice. It seemed like he didn't stop. He had that energy.
Under a minute left.
Under a minute left, another breakup. Crawford needs to make the most of this situation, but I think that he has just fully lost any energy. Trying to answer right back, tucks early, and that is going to allow for Dale to dive in once again. And once more, we are back to this favored state where, at this point, I don't think that we have to expect any reversals out of Crawford. He is just waiting for Angel Ortiz to give him a go-ahead for one more split-up and maybe one more statement maker, but I don't know if he's going to get it. The Dynamite's found an opening to get some shots across the ribs, and in fact, with this lower guard, Crawford is struggling to make any space.
Yeah, hard one to judge, but I say Dale might have stole this last round with that 15-punch combo.
Oh yeah, that was the best flurry of the fight.
And all right, tough match, hard-fought match from both of these heavyweights, and learning lesson from both, I think.
Absolutely the case. Love to see the sportsmanship coming out of them too as well, Brent, but coming out the end of that one, I really do think that there's a good argument that SBY MMA and Fitness won every single one of those 3 rounds, and unfortunately Crawford just couldn't get the valuable offense necessary before eventually his reserves were depleted.
Yeah, Crawford showed some offense there at the end of the first round, looking sharp, and I could see possibly the judges giving him that round, but I think maybe 2 and 3 went to Dale, and yeah, good hard fight from Dale. I know he was bouncing back from some defeat, and really I spoke to both of these guys on the CageZilla Unchained here on our CageZilla YouTube channel, and both of these guys were hungry for a win. But Dale, he spoke to me on his work break. I mean, he really wanted to get his story out there, and I could tell he was hungry. He was hungry to get this win, and because I spoke to him. I said, hey, the ones that didn't go your way, it was all in the details. It was all in the little stuff. I thought honestly I was going to see some more grappling from him, because I know he's a grappler and I know he can do throws, and I know he's got some powerful throws. But maybe he felt like he couldn't get Big Smile to the ground. And he felt like the only way he could get him was pressuring up against the cage. But I think ultimately he'll learn how to attack the legs now, do a quick single leg dump, and start working on that.
All right, well, Chris Fuller has gathered all scorecards, and we are ready to make this fight official.
Salisbury Center, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge 1 scores about 29-28. Judge 2 scores about 30-27. And Judge 3 scores about 29-28. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. It's Dale Reed Jr.
Congratulations to SBY MMA and Fitness. Dale the Dynamite Reed Jr. with a statement maker here, takes it the distance and triumphs to move up to 1-1 in his pro career.
Yeah, congratulations to Big Dale. He's a dynamite, which is he lives up to that nickname. When he connects hard. When he attacks hard. And again, I think there's some little things he can work on moving forward that hopefully he'll get dialed in, because I think he's got a big future, and hopefully we see him again here inside the CageZilla cage.
Dale, don't leave me, Dale. Dale, I need you. Well, thank you. Congratulations, Dale. I know this feels amazing.
Yes, it does. Put a bunch of work in this camp for this result, so we got the result we wanted.
I know you did. And a couple of questions here. Coming in, heavyweight fights come with a lot of risk of a lot of power exchanges. How do you mitigate that risk? I saw you had him up against the cage. Was that a strategy, and how did you mitigate those power punches?
Yeah, big smile. Matt, definitely, he punched hard. So when I was hurt, I just pressed him up against the cage. And obviously I'm fat, so that was my break too, you know what I mean?
Oh my God. And you have won 4 out of the last 6 as pro. What switch really flipped? Because well done.
Nah, those was my amateur fights. I lost my first pro fight.
Correct, but you've kind of been on this streak, and so something switched. Has the training changed?
Yeah, just my team. I mean, they just stuck by me forever. My cousin Greg, Seb, my boy Lou, they all, always been in my corner. And now I got Coach Robbins in addition too, and he been really giving me that work. Been getting my ass kicked at Bauer House, and then obviously my head coach, Coach Brandon. Like, I mean, we just really been all coming together, putting a lot in the camp, and it's starting to show results. You know what I mean?
There you go, Dale. It worked for you tonight. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Yes, man. Thank you all.
Like and subscribe to CageZilla.